Good afternoon. Happy Friday. My name's Caitlin, Customer Success Manager here at SONAR, and welcome back to With SONAR. This webinar is designed to help explore tools and use cases to enhance your overall SONAR experience. Last episode, we went over our rate intelligence tool to help you get ahead of those holiday rate shifts with our real-time market rates. And this week, I'm going to show you how to dive deeper into those lane level rates with our Tickerized lane search and our seasonally adjusted moving average. So, as always, bear with me while I share my screen. Alrighty. So, with our Tickerized lane search and seasonally adjusted moving average, this is great to help dig into any lanes that have already been giving you issues as we go into the holiday season to help plan ahead for any pricing or capacity shifts that you may experience. Because we all know capacity tends to tighten in the holiday weeks. So you can access these tools within any chart in SONAR. So if you want to quickly check a lane that maybe you're just providing spot pricing on, not something you're running that frequently, you can use the chart feature at the top of your screen. This is going to be great for a quick reference, as I mentioned, but this is not going to save within your custom dashboards. So if you want to build something out that you can reference time and time again, I would definitely recommend building this out under your My Dashboards. That way you can just go back to this page and have the data already populated. For the sake of this demo, I'm just going to do it within the chart that I already have pulled up. So within the chart, you can just click enter symbol and you will see the lane search function at the top. Once you click on that, you'll be prompted to select your equipment type and then spot and contract rates. If you have contract rates, these are going to be an add-on. So if you do not see these populate on your end, you can reach out to your account manager to discuss these further. I'm going to type in my origin and destination here, and then click compare. So at first glance, this allows you to compare the spot and contract rates and the spread between the two. So contract rates are going to be here in purple, and then the green line is going to be those spot rates. Both rates are going to be produced in an all-in format, so they are inclusive of fuel. In this environment, currently, contract rates are going to be more elevated, so they are typically higher than your spot rates. However, it's great to see if there's a certain time of year that your spot rates start to creep up on those contract rates, or if you see that spot rates on this lane just have a lot of volatility. This gives you negotiating power when you are talking to those shipper customers and you're trying to lock in this business long term so that you can provide better service and a more competitive rate. This just gives you that collateral, showing the shippers what volatility they are leaving themselves susceptible to versus contracting that business out. So great to use to your advantage in that use case. Now, let's say that you're only dealing with this lane in a spot environment, or that's how you're securing capacity, even if you do have the business contracted in. You can hover over your rates here and easily close out of your contract rates, and then you're just going to see the spot rates on this lane and how they've trended the last year. So just a high-level view here, but let's say you want to dive deeper into what's changing these rates and how they've fluctuated year over year. You can go to display at the top of your chart, go to the seasonality function. Oh, let me fix my axis to an absolute. And from there, you can click the drop down. So it gives you the option, because if you have the spot and contract rates, it'll let you select one, because when you're looking at seasonality, you're only going to want to look at one data set. So from there, we're going to show you the year-over-year changes for spot rates on this lane. So the blue line is going to be that current year, and then green will be last year, and the pink is going to be 2023. So we're just looking at those non-COVID years, so it's more along with current market conditions. So when you're looking at these rates, you can kind of see how they're trending compared to the previous years to see if current rate levels are in line with that. And you can kind of base what you're expecting the next or for the rest of the year based off of what's happened previously. So let's say my rates are trending closer to 2024. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that 2023 as well, that you can quickly X out of here. And then you can just see current year and then what last year did and kind of know what to expect for the next month. Now, let's say your rates are not following any previous trends and you want to dive deeper into what's driving this. So I would then go into turn off my seasonality mode. I'm going to switch this to a dual axis as well. And then I'm going to click this compare button. And I'm going to compare van rejections for the Atlanta market or the outbound market if you're looking at a different lane. And I'm going to change this color because that is just not, they're too close together. Okay. So then we have van rejections for Atlanta, specifically in orange, and we have the drive-in spot rates for Atlanta, Georgia to Houston, Texas in green. So you can see here, as those rejections are increasing or decreasing, we're seeing those spot rates here in green follow suit. So looking at the rejections compared with my rate is going to allow me to see what's driving any near-term fluctuations. It looks like going into the holiday, you can see here, we have those rejections spike up and they're beginning to level back out, which, yes, is to be expected around the holidays. However, we had rates jumping up a little bit later and it looks like they've yet to fall down. So near term telling me I need to expect a little more elevated rates in the near term, but that should level back out. Just got to weather through the storm. Now, let's say you want to know what to expect for the next 6 months with rejections or these lane level rates. That is going to be where our seasonally adjusted moving average comes in. And this tool is a 6-month projection that you can view on those lane level rates or those rejections and majority of data sets within SONAR. So this is great for more long-term high-level planning to help get ahead of any shifts. So this projection, if you hover over the rejections for Atlanta, you can overlay it here. And then if you hover over that spot rate, you can overlay it on that lane level rate as well. Now, this projection is going to come from the last 2 years of historical data. So we're not including any of the COVID times that would heavily skew those numbers. But it's also seasonally structured and updated on a daily basis. So it's reflective of current market conditions and real-time movements as well. So it's going to be updated on a daily basis. So if anything shifts in the market, as it tends to do, we're going to see those projections shift as well. So you can make sure that you're up to date on market conditions and preparing accordingly. So as we go into Q1, you can see we're expecting this spike up around the holiday as to be expected, with rejections and those spot rates as well. And then they're dropping back down as we go into Q1. So that is in line with normal seasonality. However, it does look like rates are expected to be a little more elevated as we go into Q1 than they have been in the previous months on this lane. So just something to keep an eye on to see if anything changes on this lane that you need to be aware of to help with your planning. Also great when you're looking at rates to see how much variation is it jumping up from. So currently we're sitting at 1427 all in on this lane. It's looking to stay around that until end of Q1 next year currently. So if you have a rate where this is currently a profitable lane for you, not looking like too many changes until Q1. But again, you can keep up with this as it's going to change daily to see if you need to make any adjustments and change your preparations. So great to really dive into what is changing capacity and rates on this lane and kind of understand how you need to adjust your network. So overall, these tools help you dive deeper into those specific lanes to get ahead of capacity and rate shifts. They're currently available within your SONAR subscriptions. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at cs@gosonar.com or your account manager. We would love to talk through this with you further. And otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this episode of With SONAR, and we'll come back to hang out with me next time. If you have any requests for specific products or use cases you would like to explore, you can leave them in the comments below. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out.